at 7. Working against Butler. Got downhill. Couldn't punch it. Bam says, get out of here. Here comes Bledsoe. Bam with a great block from behind. Bam. Oh, my. And out of bio.
So what's going on, you guys? Your man NBA fan crazy here, back on the channel with another video. Before we get on to today's video, if you like the content put out by me, please subscribe, and if you like the content put out by me, smash the like button. Let's get on to today's video. So the Miami Heat lost to the Toronto Raptors 101-81, partly because of how well the Toronto Raptors played as a team and how well Norman Powell and OG Anunoby played. OG Anunoby 5 for 6 on 3, Norman Powell 23 points. His presence certainly helped when Kyle Lowry wasn't playing tonight, because Kyle Lowry struggled overall on Wednesday night's game against the Heat. So for more takeaways and a game recap, let's go to the tape. Let's roll the tape. So this is game recap of Miami Heat Toronto Raptors January 22nd. So the Toronto Raptors just beat the Miami Heat 101-81. So I'm gonna be providing the quarter by quarter scores. So in the first quarter, the Toronto Raptors led 37-20. The second quarter end of at halftime, the Toronto Raptors led 42-56. At the end of the third quarter, the Toronto Raptors led 73-84, and finally in the end of the game, Toronto Raptors won 101-81, as I just said right now. So let's dive into game recap. So now let's start with the Toronto Raptors side of things before we move on to the Miami Heat side of things. One, I think the insertion of Norman Powell into the starting lineup because of Kyle Lowry's injuries was a huge plus point, along with how well Aaron Baines played today, even though he had only 3 points and 1 for 5 shooting and 1 for 3 shooting from 3. Aaron Baines made some few big blocks, helped change the momentum of the game. Though those 2 blocks and 2 steals, it certainly did help that he did make that block, because it did come at times when momentum started to shift towards the Miami Heat side. And when the game was tied, like at 61 in the third quarter, it was the whole Raptors players who helped in getting Toronto that 9-point lead after the Heat tied at 61-61 with like 5 minutes 10 seconds left in the third quarter. So right now it's just after the game. Just doing it after the game here. I just got ESPN's stats play-by-play report here with me. So I am seeing it right now. So you guys do know it. It was overall not a game, not a bad game in the sense of what you guys, they tried to come back, but the Heat ultimately lost. So Norman Powell playing this game, he really did play very well. He had a lot of floaters or dunks, maybe even sometimes good hustle plays on defense, because one time I remember him getting a steal and then Fred VanVleet throwing a lob, and since Norman Powell is really athletic, he caught the lob and he just finished it up. Okay, so Norman Powell overall very good game, 23 points overall. He made some timely threes, 3 for 10 though, but still he attacked the rim a lot more this game. 10 for 18 though, he was just 3 for 10. So overall, he didn't have any free throws too. Very good game for Norman Powell. He was very aggressive to the goal. He got to the rim. He made 3 threes at times. And speaking of threes, OG Anunoby made 5 for 6 from 3. Yeah, every single one of those threes came at times when the Heat didn't need it to. Because every time the Heat started a run, I feel like it ended because of an OG Anunoby 3. Quite for example, when in the fourth quarter, whenever you wanted to come close, OG Anunoby hit a 3. Or when the game was close 65-61, he just faked I think he faked none out and then he just hit a three overall over the night. Whenever the Heat made huge runs, OG Anunoby was hitting threes. And those are timely threes helped Toronto to stop Miami's momentum in the game itself. So overall, the Raptors shot 17 for 40 from 3 and last game compared to 16 for 43. And here once again, and here I only remember two times in Aaron Baines, I think blocked Bam, and then one time when Olenek faked someone out. Bain, I don't know in that play. I don't remember what the score was. I remember Olenek going very slowly to rim. Baines just sent that shot out of here. He just sent that shot out of here. Well, not a lot to talk about, man. It was not like a lot of like the only thing positive about this game from the Miami Heat side was a fact that you got out to a slow start, you're down 21, and then you made a run. But credit to Toronto first because they helped stop the bleeding. Because the Miami Heat got out a very, very quick start in the third quarter, going from 42-56, helped tie it up at 61. But it was ultimately Toronto Raptors who had the last laugh by going on this huge run after the Heat managed to tie it up on two consecutive Gabe Vincent layups. And overall, Gabe Vincent on the night wasn't really that good. He hasn't been playing that well since then. And most of his 3-point shots, you know what frustrates me about Gabe Vincent? Is the fact that we got him open threes and he has not been making them. No, it's not a lot that we ask from Gabe. And I know it's not fair to expect a lot out of Gabe, especially when given that he's not someone who we really rely on to just call him upon, just say, young gun, young gun, you have to start contributing immediately or else we lose. Our fate hinges on you. It's not the way to go about things, especially with a guy like Gabe, because he wasn't called upon to learn. Now he has to suddenly start contributing for the team. And he had that pretty good game in the first game around in Philly, and the two games in Philly overall. But he hasn't been playing well he didn't play well in this game and the previous game in Toronto when we won. He didn't play very well. Overall, it was Kendrick Nunn who even kept us in the game overall. So from the Toronto Raptors side, they converted the threes, they made their attempts, they made the free throws overall, and it didn't help with the fact that they also played very good defense on the Miami Heat overall. Though sometimes I even attribute that more to Miami missing than Toronto getting it. But most of the looks Toronto did contest it, but I feel like some of those looks that the Heat missed, some of them were really uncontested. Overall, Bam didn't look that good. He was very passive at times. So I look forward to seeing what he does against Brooklyn because they have only a DeAndre Jordan, and they gave away Jared Allen. So look forward to see whether he can pick up his pace and be more aggressive overall because he wasn't that aggressive today. Overall, just 14 points, 6 for 13, 2 for 2 from the line, but overall not very aggressive. Overall, he didn't take advantage of the mismatches, and this is one thing that everyone's tried. The Boston Celtics, starting with the Celtics overall, they're the guys they are the team which started putting smaller players on Bam. Let's see if he can create his own shot at times. They put Grant Williams on him, and we know what Grant Williams has done to Bam in high school. I know that. So overall, they tried putting smaller players on him. Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum. It tried switching, put smaller players on him, and let's see if he tries to make them pay. He finally did in Game 6 with that phenomenal fourth quarter performance. He turned into point Bam. He did that. He didn't have the same aggression this time around. There's no fault on Bam. It's just pointing straight facts here. So that's why, as I said, hope he picks up his pace against Brooklyn because you can do wonders. Because the Nets are not a very strong defensive team. They are also coming off a back-to-back in Cleveland where they lost both games, so you see whether you can establish momentum there. Yeah, because it would be a good win if you win in Brooklyn because of the offensive minded trio and the firepower they have overall. So yeah, overall Kendrick Nunn and overall for this team, slow starts have been the sometimes the killer for this team at times. We saw it happen last season. What was it this season? Overall, let's see where they started off slow. In the Milwaukee game, overall, even in Boston, you started off very slow. And I'm just saying examples. And this game, you started off slow. It's like 3 games that you came within range. You're very close to that team at one point. Exception for that Milwaukee game where we weren't ever close to Milwaukee after that. Boston, you were tied, went on 10-0 run, where exception for that Peyton Pritchard game winner. The game I didn't do a game recap on. And exception for this game, you came and tied it, but Toronto just went on that huge ass run and they ultimately won the game. They kept pushing, they kept trying, and it did yield them a win overall. So Toronto will be going to Indiana to face the Pacers. Heat will be going to Brooklyn tomorrow. So we can see how that goes. So slow starts have been a killer for this team overall. So I want to see how they fare against Brooklyn tomorrow, because this Nets team is an indicator of where this Heat team stands even without this. Because I really do hope we can pick up a win, because it'd be a long way to go and it really gives this team some much needed confidence to start going on a winning streak, because you can't be at 500 forever. This team is capable of more than that, even without Jimmy and Hero too. So, and I know this team has been struggling, but still, overall I still have high expectations, so not gonna criticize, but I also observe it slowly as time goes on. And so it was not a really good game for Miami overall. Get out to slow starts, not hit a lot of threes. And speaking of not hitting a lot of threes, only 7 for 31 after going 18 for 40 from 3. Now you only hit 22% of your threes. And once again, last season we have seen it, this season we have to. The 3-point shot decides whether we die or we live. It's make or miss league. So when we make our threes, we will live. When we don't, we die. Because this team is a 3-point shooting team. I'm not saying that's the only dimension of it. But overall, what happens when we don't hit our threes? We fall, no matter what else we do. Because this team is a 3-point shooting team, as I've told you, and it's been. This team is designed around shooters, around Bam and Jimmy. They get to the rim. So when these shooters don't make their shots, it makes it even difficult for Bam and Jimmy to have space at the rim. So overall, when these shooters struggle, the team overall struggles. But isn't that the same for every team, but especially for Miami here? So overall, it didn't help that the fact that Miami had to go stone cold from 3. Toronto had to hit 17 for 40 from 3. Almost one away from rivaling Miami's 18 for 40 from the game before. So overall, my main takeaways are this. Norman Powell really did play well in Kyle Lowry's absence, because Kyle Lowry, after hitting 7 of his 8 points in the first quarter itself, the Raptors' first 7 points, so he didn't do much after that. So Norman Powell really helped in that area. OG Anunoby hitting 5 for 6 from 3 didn't help. It helped stop Miami's momentum. So overall, that didn't help. So and overall, Fred VanVleet struggled today too. It credit to the Raptors, because when in a day when Fred VanVleet, the main creator, was struggling, the rest of the team picked up overall. So, and Bam looked very passive. Kendrick Nunn, his combination of mid-range, at the rim, from 3, he's the one who even kept us in the game at times when you're looking good on 20. then he brought it to 17, he brought it to 16, etc., etc. So overall, man, that's I hope we win in Brooklyn. It'll pick up the confidence for the team. So one for one win, a win and a loss in Tampa. We going to Brooklyn, 8 Eastern. Um, today 8 Eastern. I'm recording this as of right now. It's just it just don't worry about it. 8 Eastern, Brooklyn, Miami, the back to back in Brooklyn. So you hope you can pick up a win there. Then on Monday, I think it's 7:30 Eastern in Monday in Brooklyn. So two games in Brooklyn after two games at home. Then you go on to face against Denver and Los Angeles, the Clippers, obviously. Overall, so I hope the Heat can start picking up the wins because it helps when Jimmy and Hero come back. You don't want them to go on a massive winning streak for you to just come to 500. So overall, man, that's my takeaways on this thing. So you can go now to the Miami Heat plays of the day. So let's start it right now.
Van Vliet against Achua. What another defensive gem there for Precious Achua. 3-on-1 break. The lob. Iguodala hammers it.
Bam against Bam. That's good. Bam out of Bio.
Achua on a keeper. Oh, hammered it down. Beautiful. Wow.
So that's the Miami Heat plays of the day. So that'll take us to the finish line. So I thank you guys for watching the video. Heat Nets game recap will be coming up. So I thank you guys for watching the video once again. I'll see you all next time, man. I'll see you all next time. Thank you guys for watching the video. If you like the content put out by me, please subscribe to the channel. Do not miss a piece of daily NBA content. And I will be seeing you guys in the next video.